The American economy has survived recessions, housing crashes, and even global pandemics, but it has never truly recovered from one man, the Shredder. But this isn't just one Shredder, this is a Shredder multiverse. From the 1987 cartoon where he was smashing Channel 6 like it was his personal playground, to the 2003 version where he wasn't even a human, the ruthless warlord of 2012, and finally, the apocalyptic monster of Rise of the TMNT. Shredder has been evolving like an economy-crashing Pokemon. 4 decades of destruction and many glow-ups later. And let's just say the bill isn't coming in small. But here's the question, how much damage can one cartoon villain rack up before the city goes broke? Let's rewind to where it all started. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon of 1987 introduced the world of Oroku Saki, better known as Shredder. Take the very first episode, Enter the Shredder. Shredder rolls out robotic unicycles, yes, the circus unicycles, that erupt through sidewalks to break Bebop and Rocksteady out of the zoo. Sounds goofy, right? But think about it. Tearing up city streets, damaging sewers, panicking pedestrians? That's not a rookie number. That's millions in damages. And that was his opening move. From there, he treated the city like his personal Lego set. Shredder regularly destroyed property, like skyscrapers being attacked with laser blasts, and walls collapsing like they were made of cardboard. Then there's his favorite side hobby, kidnapping. Splinter, Irma, April, even random civilians ended up locked away in the Technodrome at some point. The Turtle Terminator. Sure, the Turtles always saved them, but every abduction drained city resources. Cops scrambled, news crews were mobilized, helicopters were burned for airtime. That's real taxpayer money vanishing into a black hole. And then came Shredder's worst science fair project. Bebop and Rocksteady, 2 street thugs volunteered to become guinea pigs for mutagen. And overnight, the city had 2 giant mutant wrecking balls with laser rifles. You know how in New York a broken window can cost thousands? Multiply that by Bebop with a bazooka. And then, of course, there's the Technodrome. Imagine the world's worst doomsday bunker, crossed with a hamster ball of death. Whenever it surfaced in New York, it tore through sewers, collapsed streets, and threatened whole neighborhoods. It was never stable. One minute it's overheating, the next it's falling apart, and somehow, Shredder always managed to almost destroy the city by standing too close to the on switch. Even our 1987 Shredder is racking up serious bills. As we are guessing, his damages are up to $5 billion. And honestly, that's just the appetizer. Consider this the bite-sized hors d'oeuvres of chaos. The real meal? Oh, it's a 7-course disaster banquet waiting to be served. But do you know who's the real crown jewel of 1987 Shredder's chaos? Shredderville. This is basically, what if Shredder actually won and wow, the results are not pretty. Imagine you wake up in a nightmare New York that looks like a post-apocalyptic wasteland. First off, the entire city is falling apart. Buildings are decaying, cars are rusting in the streets, and the sky is a permanent cloud of pollution. That's billions in infrastructure damage right there, since we're talking about decades of neglect. And somehow, every dollar in the budget is going straight into Shredder's pockets. And the cherry on top, he literally printed his own face on the money. Imagine pulling out a 20 and staring at Oroku Saki's face, which means the currency is worthless. Hyperinflation, no trade, an entire industry shut down that literally affects not just New York, but the world. Channel 6, the media hub of the city, is in ruins. That's millions in lost property value and an entire communications network out the window. Add in Bebop, Rocksteady, and Rock Soldiers blasting away at anything that moves. And you've got non-stop collateral damage. And the biggest cost? The Technodrome. Shredder diverts all the coolants to his own HQ, leaving its generators on the edge of meltdown. If that thing had gone off, you're looking at an explosion big enough to level half the city. Easily a $100 billion catastrophe. By the end of the 1987 run, we're easily looking at multi-billions in damages. With all the destruction, we're talking $5 billion, plus a mind-melting $120 billion when you factor in all the emergency response, infrastructure repairs, and a bunch of, oops, we forgot to rebuild some sewers, and this was just a light-hearted version. Like when your villain has alien tech and a Fortune 500 company's budget, how expensive does the chaos get? Fast forward to 2003, and the Shredder is no longer just a comedic relief villain. He's revealed to be something much scarier, a warlord in disguise called Ultram Shredder. And with that twist, the cost didn't just rise, they skyrocketed. This Shredder was a CEO in a business suit, which means when he fought the Turtles, the collateral damage wasn't just random warehouses. It was skyscrapers, research labs, and factories worth hundreds of millions each. Speaking of research labs, remember when this guy tried to implode the entire TCRI building just to make sure the Turtles and the Ultrams were dead right in the middle of the city? Jeez, talk about leaving a bad review. Ugh. Imagine calling your insurance company to explain, "Yeah, my office building was destroyed by a ninja alien in spiky armor." Not our favorite conversation, to be honest. The 2003 Shredder had one major upgrade, which was very advanced alien technology. So every time he lost, the explosion alone was enough to take out a city block. And alien tech isn't easy to replace. It's not like you can just call Geek Squad for that. This is the kind of damage that has NASA, the Pentagon, and every science lab in America clutching their pearls. Imagine trying to explain all of these incidents and damages to the city council like, "No, it wasn't aliens. Wait, actually, kind of was." And suddenly the number we have doesn't feel so crazy. You could easily push it up to $15 billion just from the mess he leaves behind. And when you add that to the $125 billion from 1987, that scoreboard isn't looking pretty. But what happens when Shredder stops attacking America and starts wrecking the whole planet? And just when you thought Shredder couldn't get any worse, the 2003 series introduced Tengu Shredder, a literal demon who had been sealed away for centuries. Yeah, nightmare fuel unlocked. Hurricanes, firestorms, earthquakes. Every single one of those is a multi-billion-dollar FEMA nightmare. Forget rebuilding one skyscraper. We're talking whole regions needing reconstruction. And the scope? Way beyond New York. Tengu Shredder wanted global domination, which means every country on the planet suddenly had to throw their military budgets, emergency response, and international aid into the pot mix. Do you know one hurricane can cost upward of $100 billion in real world? Now stack that with supernatural earthquakes and fire raining from the sky, and then repeat it worldwide. By the time he sealed away again, we're looking at hundreds of billions in damages already. New York wasn't facing a warlord anymore, it was facing an actual apocalypse. By the time he sealed again, the Tengu Shredder has easily racked up global-level damages in the hundreds of billions. And if a demon wasn't scary enough, but how bad does it get when Shredder goes full-on natural disaster mode? Then came the 2012 Shredder. This guy literally woke up one day and thought, "Why not turn everything into rubble?" Every time he rolled out the Technodrome, he was smashing street-sized holes through Manhattan's roads. Forget patching that. We're relaying city infrastructure at this point. And remember when he got the Eye of Sarnath and brought a literal dragon to life? We need to factor in baffling creature control and air traffic violation fines. Plus, his go-to move is to fire missiles and level entire buildings or try to blow up major bridges. With just this, we are looking at a cost of destruction that easily climbs into the $10 to $15 billion per major incident. And after all that rubble, what does the ultimate apocalyptic Shredder cost the world? And now, we've saved the biggest, ugliest, holy cow, we should call the military Shredder for last. By the rise of the TMNT, Shredder has gone full-on monster mode. He's less villain with a plan and more walking natural disaster with a vendetta. First, let's talk about the direct damage. He pops up in New York shipyard and suddenly shipping containers are flying, cranes are wobbling, and a cargo ship, yep, sliced in half like sushi. Emergency crews? Forget it! They don't even get a chance. That's millions in dock repairs right out of the gate. Next up, the Grand Nexus Hotel. Things escalate when Shredder, now fully the Shadow Fiend, invades the Grand Nexus Hotel. Floors cave like stale bread. Elevators shoot through walls like soda cans from a vending machine. Lobbies get squashed flat. And windows, poof! Gone like he pulled a magic trick straight out of a villain handbook. Remember when Shredder straight up hijacked the Crying Titan's Empyrean to suck Splinter Hamato's essence? Yeah, that wasn't just scary, it was bank account scary. Add all that up and suddenly, a single Shredder encounter is tens of millions more in cleanup alone. So when you add up the lost properties, the wrecked vehicles, and the magical cleanup bill, we are absolutely talking about a multi-billion-dollar disaster, full stop. And now, hold on to your pizza, because we're about to see what all this chaos really costs. You might be thinking, okay, 1987 had a few wacky unicycles, and 2003 had that alien CEO thing, and sure, maybe 2012 had some street-level smashes. But how bad could it really get? Well, let me tell you. The numbers you're about to see would make even the Foot Clan drop their weapons in horror. And don't worry, we're skipping the decade-by-decade destruction recap. Let's just say, if you thought a few laser blasts, flying mutagen experiments, or a ninja showdown that turned skyscrapers into jigsaw puzzles were expensive, well, buckle up. Hold on to your shell, folks. The grand total is about to drop. Drum roll, please. And here it is. The total estimated cost of Shredder's decade-long destruction is over $458 billion. Yeah, billions with a B. With every villainous scheme and all that damage, everything adds up. And that's just what we could estimate. Imagine if we tried counting broken pizzas too. After all that chaos, all those busted buildings, and the unpayable price tag, the city's still standing. The turtles are still kicking, and somehow, the foot soldiers are still limping around. Who knows how they keep getting back up? Maybe it's sheer stubbornness, or just pure bad luck. And somewhere in the shadows, Shredder is probably planning his next disaster like it's his full-time job. That's all for today, folks. Cowabunga and stay out of trouble, or Shredder's next bill could be all yours.